I first met Monika at the Grange public house, Langton. She had been for a horse riding lesson and had stopped there for some lunch. She was playing pool and I asked her for a game. Then we struck up a conversation. She was a warm and genuinely friendly person and made people feel at ease straight away. We arranged to meet the following week and she invited myself and my boyfriend back to her house for coffee and lunch. She told us that Michael was away on business, but we would meet him soon. A couple of weeks later we met Michael, who told us immediately that he was in the SAS and had been away on some secret mission. At first, that sounded impressive, of course. I was young and I had never met anyone like this before. Michael was a type 1 diabetic, but didn't look after himself that well. On several occasions when his bloods were out of sync, he would start an argument and had the most dreadful temper. One time he demolished the whole banister in the rented house they stayed in Poona Road, Tunbridge Wells. That night there was a dreadful storm and torrential rain, and after he had thrown bits of the banister downstairs at myself and Monika, he took a gun and disappeared into the night, threatening to kill himself. He eventually returned home hours later and all was calm. I had gone home to my own house back then, but Monika told me this. I was scared for Monika. He really was a bully. And when he couldn't get his own way, like a spoilt child, he would argue, sulk, and then do something irrational for attention. He used to kiss Monika's forehead and stroke her hair as if she was a pet. He used to show her off and brag how lucky he was to have such a beauty. Just a shame he didn't treat her very well. As time went on, Monika became increasingly frustrated with Michael. She tried to educate him, but he wouldn't have it. His choice of friends was dire. She had decided in the end she wanted a divorce. She started saving small amounts of money to buy herself a ticket back to the States. She stashed this little black pouch in her wardrobe. But one day, in an argument, he ransacked her wardrobe, found her money bag, and burnt it in front of her. She asked him for a divorce, and he refused. He was obsessed with her. And really, if he couldn't have her, then he would make sure no one else would have her. In March of 1982, Monika had to go into hospital to have surgery on her teeth. This was at the private hospital in Great Missenden. I phoned the hospital and managed to speak with her, but she was very groggy. I felt very sorry for her at this time. I couldn't get through after that. Her phone was disconnected. But she wrote me a letter telling me that while she was in hospital, Michael had the removal van in and moved most of the furniture out. She had no idea where he was, that he had purchased more guns illegally at Christmas of 1981, and that she was scared. I went with my boyfriend that weekend of the 19th of March and drove to Lambourne House. She was very scared, but so pleased to see us when she opened the door. She bolted it so that no one could get in. Eventually, one evening in September, a news item came on the television. A body had been found, and I recognised the t-shirt it was dressed in. I knew in my heart then what had happened. So I went to my local police station and I gave a statement. It was a horrible ordeal for me, and I was upset for years. The trial in 1984 was a terrible experience for me, and I still have it fresh in my mind. As I entered the court, Michael was standing in the dock. He looked at me and smiled. During the whole trial, Monika's good name was dragged through the mud. Her character was assassinated. After Michael was sentenced, I spent years looking over my shoulder, worried in case one day he would come looking for me. Even after I married and moved a long way away to Scotland in 1993, I regularly thought about him and was scared in case he found me. I have never forgotten my beautiful friend Monika, and not a day goes by when she doesn't enter my mind. I only wish I had enough money to give her when she wanted to leave, and then she could have escaped, and who knows how different things might have been. Rest in peace, my wonderful friend, and fly with the angels forever.
Well, we had a call from a man who'd come across a body. When the pathologist arrived and took his first look at the body, he then found that, in fact, the head was missing. Now we were dealing with somebody who'd probably been murdered way away from our force area.
And, it could have been any moment later and never would have happened. It could have been any other person at that stop sign, and my father would never have reacted and seen the bike, or vice versa. And so that's how it came. He came here to buy a motorcycle.
We had a name from the lady who told us who it was, and that led us to go to the premises of Michael Telling.
It's just so hard because Monika was young, she was beautiful, she was talented, she was quite intelligent, she was very social. People just loved Monika.